Hi everyone, I wanted to continue that beginner cheese making series, and I want to talk today about why it's so important to flip your cheese after you've made it while you're aging it. So flipping the cheese controls basically four major functions. It controls moisture in your cheese, it controls the structure, the physical structure of your cheese. It controls the salt diffusion in your cheese and the ecosystem both inside and on the rind. So the first one is moisture. Once you're done making a cheese and it's dried on your counter and you put it in your cave, uh, if you don't touch it, immediately gravity starts working on the water that's inside the cheese and it will start to drop. That water falling creates a very wet bottom of your cheese and an opposingly dry top of your cheese. So you end up with a soaked bottom that's very dense and a top that's dry and cracking. Structurally, cheese is what we call a viscoelastic material, so it's flexible. So once you set that cheese down, and especially once that water settles at the bottom, the outside wants to bow out at the bottom, the top wants to slump, it wants to move kind of to the path of least resistance. So you end up with a very offset cheese, slumpy on the top that's dry, wide and wet at the bottom. So you don't get a uniform cheese once you cut into it. The bottom part's going to be completely different than the top. The other one is salt diffusion. So salt follows something called Fick's law. And Fick's law says that salt wants to travel from areas of high concentration to areas of low concentration, and water follows salt. So when you have a cheese that you set in your cave and you just leave it sit there, that all that salt wants to go down to the bottom where the water is. So if you flip the cheese, you're equalizing that and you have an even distribution of cheese throughout the wheel. Salt controls water activity in the cheese, it controls enzyme movement in the cheese, and it controls microbial behavior. And next is rind ecology. So if you have a very damp bottom and a very dry top, you're going to get unwanted molds in the higher moisture areas. You're going to get you're not going to get the mold growth you want in the lower moisture areas. You have uneven access to oxygen and an uneven access to humidity in the cave. So you set it at 80-85%, but underneath that cheese that's wet, it's pretty much an anaerobic or oxygen-free environment. You're going to get all kinds of unwanted things growing there, and the top is not going to get the things growing you want. So it's really important for all those reasons to flip your cheese. So keep in mind, cheese is alive. It's plastic, it wants to move, and it's constantly changing. So the more even environment you can make by constantly flipping that cheese, so gravity and biology are working for us, the better cheese you're going to have at the end. So flip your cheese. Anyway, hope you have a great day.